My Talk 1071 is here to fill in because you always love to get in the kitchen.
I absolutely do.
You love the cooking part. Now, following a recipe is part science, part art, and you can switch things up as long as you follow a few simple guidelines. And Karin Schaefer is the executive director of the Minnesota Beef Council, and she's here to explain and help us out with a recipe for steak fajitas.
Hello.
Hey, lady, nice to have you here.
Yes.
Bradley, are you intimidated by the flank steak?
I was saying I frequently torture flank steaks. They're either underdone or way overdone.
Okay, talk to us about flank steak and how we can make it great.
Yep, so a flank steak is a relatively large cut of meat. So this one's about 2.5 pounds.
Yes.
And I think one of the challenges is usually one part is a little thicker than the other part.
Yeah.
So if you're cooking for a crowd, I think it works well because you can have one end that's a little bit more medium rare and the other end a little bit more well done.
Because you always have the people who are like, I don't want any pink.
Yeah.
And then you have the other people who are thinking, what are you doing? Okay, so the flank steak, what are some of the characteristics of it?
So the great thing about a flank steak, it is a lean cut of beef. So we're talking like 150 calories per serving, 5 to 6 grams of fat.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of internal marbling. However, because of the way the muscle works, you can still get a very tender cut of steak if you're cutting it and preparing it correctly.
And it works great for fajitas.
It absolutely does.
Yeah, this is
if you
great.
can cook it well.
Okay, so how are we going to do this?
So first things first, you likely need to marinate a lean cut of steak. It helps to add flavor. It also helps to break down some of those fibers in the muscles.
Yeah.
So the quintessential Ziploc bag is the best tool for marinades.
Get her going.
I love it. So
And the
easy.
3 parts of a marinade are, we have
Flavor.
First, we have flavor,
Yeah.
which we are doing garlic.
Yep.
Everybody loves garlic. We have lime juice.
So you got a little
We
bit of
have
acid.
Yeah.
So it'll break things down a little bit, tenderize them.
And some fat, huh?
And some fat. We're doing a little vegetable oil. You can use any kind of oil you want.
So this doesn't seem like very much in here.
It doesn't, but we're actually going to put it in the fridge for probably 6 to 10 hours. So it'll keep absorbing and breaking down, and that acid really helps a lot.
So
So
work its
Do you have
magic.
to prepare the meat at all? Do you,
you don't have to do anything.
Oh, okay, good.
yeah.
All right, I like this
Yes,
recipe
that
so far.
is really
And the other
good.
thing I want to mention is, unfortunately, sometimes you can't find flank steaks at your grocery store. So I also would recommend substituting a skirt steak if you can find it.
Good.
You can always find sirloin steak, and sirloin steak seems to work for almost everything.
Yeah.
Oh my
It's very
gosh.
versatile.
And that's less
very
expensive,
lean.
isn't it?
Less
Oh, yeah.
expensive, it's lean. There's others, you can always ask your butcher too. Sometimes they don't have them out, but they'll have them in the back. So you
Look
can
at how
ask.
I'm taking
Look
this
at
meat and I am loving it.
Yeah.
And I
You're
am
getting all that
showing
flavor in there.
you were friends. I
Yep.
want to just,
You're
just give
saying
you a
you're
little
gonna
massage.
taste really good
You're gonna
later.
thank you so much for your service, and I am appreciating you.
And I'm going to remember to cut you against the grain.
Yes,
Otherwise it'll be
yes.
tough.
Against
it.
the grain. So that's how it comes off. Now, how do you actually cook this then?
So I cook mine on the grill. You can do it either broiling in your oven on a very high heat. This works well on high temperatures for a short period of time.
Yep.
Got it.
So that's kind of the key. And to your point, I would really recommend using a meat thermometer
Okay.
and stick it in the thickest part.
Okay.
Take it off, probably about 5 to 10 degrees less than what you'd like it to, because
Sure.
there will be carryover cooking with
Okay,
this.
that's good, because
So-
you just really don't want it to get too tough.
Yeah.
So the interesting part about this recipe is we are going to make a Pico de Gallo that I think is very Minnesotan in August. I mean, what do we have coming out of our ears and our
Tomatoes
gardens?
and zucchini.
Lots
What
of
else can you do?
zucchini.
How many zucchini breads can you make?
Yeah, I
So-
mean, really, I've been shredding it, and it's insane. It's all over the place. So what are we doing for this pico?
So for the pico, we have diced up some zucchini. So you can dump that in. That's about a half a cup.
Okay, what a fun idea. Bradley, you
Yeah,
want to
I've
toss
never-
some stuff in?
You would never have thought of it.
Yeah, and the raw zucchini.
Oh, raw
Great.
zucchini. And then we have just some diced tomatoes, about the same ratio.
Easy.
Again, there's a recipe, but I'm all about ratios. We have some lime juice to break
Very
that down. So
good.
that'll,
Yummy.
add some tang.
And you already squeezed some for your flank steak, so you
Yep.
got it going.
And cilantro.
Great.
And then we
Never
just
have too
added
much.
just a little bit of store-bought, salsa of some sort.
This is
just to give
super
it
easy
some
because you've got this in your fridge already.
I know. I like this idea. I really like the idea of adding the salsa.
And it's better than just the plain salsa.
I know,
right?
totally.
Yeah.
This is just going to rev it up, and then you've got extra vegetables in there, which is so, so good. And there you go with the steak. So this is what we want it to look like, and you're showing
This is,
really
so
how...
I'm showing 3 different kinds. So
Okay.
this actually is the flank steak. I have sirloin steak here and
Oh,
then
okay.
skirt steak.
Oh,
so they all
good.
have just a little bit of a different unique element to them, but they all can really be versatile. I always recommend people should have themes and understand how to cook things. We don't always have to have a recipe and follow a recipe to
Yeah.
a T.
Well,
So-
plus feeling comfortable making those switches based on what's available or what's on
cheap.
sale.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's the
Absolutely.
way to do it. Okay, so how are we going to build this?
So this is going to be pretty standard. I have flour tortillas here.
Great.
And just grab some
I'm just going to throw the salsa
Okay.
down
some meat,
here.
some salsa.
You want to do that?
Good, yep.
It's a great recipe for kids that, you know, you can kind of add and
They like to build stuff, right?
Yeah,
do.
they totally do. And then what else did you serve it with if you don't want to do the flour tortilla?
Yep, so there's always different options. Some people maybe are gluten-free or looking for more vegetables. So we have a salad, and that salad is using a similar type of flank steak, with just a little
not?
variation. It has tomatoes, onions. Ironically, it has green olives, which I think is kind
Oh, I
of a
love
fun
that's
green
fun.
olives.
switch. And then an avocado dressing. And then we have a burrito bowl here. It's a
I'm
they're
going
messy.
everywhere.
Hawaiian-style burrito bowl. We have a pineapple salsa there with a little bit of coconut flake and some of the fajita vegetables that you're used to with a little teriyaki.
That's really
sauce.
Okay,
good.
that is delicious. And that pico with the zucchini in is such a good trick. And using the salsa, you basically just like revved up the salsa. And the meat is like perfectly tender and delicious.
It's
And
so
I
good.
spilled everywhere. And guys, I'm so sorry. Karen, great job.
Thanks, yes.
Thank you so much. Isn't that good? How are your small TV bites going? Not that great.
We didn't
Don't
get
worry,
the
I'll
recipe.
continue.
Really good.
All right, you're going to find all these recipes on the Minnesota Beef Council's website, mnbeef.org. We want to thank them for sponsoring Twin Cities Live. And then make sure you stop by the Beef Council's booth at the Minnesota State Fair. They're in the Dairy Building on Judson, and they're giving away an Apple Watch to someone who stops by.
Wow.
Are you still chewing?
No.